Chitale joining in via Skype. He is the CEO of Philips Lighting Solutions, South Asia. He's a graduate from IIT Delhi and has previously served as CEO of Honeywell India and also of HCL Infosystems. He also played part in, he was also part of Honeywell USA, and I welcome him on Skype. Our other speaker, Gaurav Gupta, would be joining in shortly. He is the Vice President and Head of Delivery at Persistent Systems. He has more than 22 years of experience in IT delivery and management. He is also an entrepreneur and he has experience in IT training and is associated with 3 startups as investor and advisor. I welcome Harsh on Skype and uh,
Thank you.
give you a virtual rose and also a virtual gift would arrive shortly to you. Sir, can you take over?
IoT, but just to from the morning, one of the themes we have been having is to bring a bridge between the academics, the premier technology institutes in the country, and business forums and thought leadership. And today I just counted, you're the fifth guy from IIT joining us, and I'm absolutely delighted. So big cheers to IIT. So over to you, Harsh. Please share your thoughts and then we will discuss.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Hemant. Thank you for inviting me. And sorry I can't be there in person, but thank you for this opportunity to join remotely. Uh, am I clearly audible there? Okay, good. So what I'm going to share with you is the real life developments that we see happening in IoT. Quite often IoT sounds like something out there in future, something which may happen, one of those technology hypes. I'm going to try and demystify it and share with you how we see actually happening today. And what does it mean in terms of some industry disruptions? Because the industry where I am right now, that wave is coming very strong. The wave of IoT is coming very strong, and so strong that we believe it will disrupt the existing industry in matter of few years. And the world of lighting that we see today will probably not be the same just 3 or 4 years down the road. So it's going to be that disruptive a wave. But whenever something as disruptive as this happens, it does create many vulnerabilities as well, especially when it becomes gets into the realm of mass adoption. And that's where I think new norms, new policies need to emerge. And I think professionals such as what you have today at the Isaca Forum will probably play a very, very big role in shaping up mass adoption of this. So really fortunate to have this opportunity to speak to all of you. So let's talk about IoT and world of lighting. Uh, what's happening is with lower power devices. So whenever a chipset can operate with low power, can communicate on low bandwidth networks, and with those processing chips become cheaper and cheaper as you can start putting more sensors and processing power and dot on that silicon, it creates lots of possibilities and opportunities. And that's why you see this age of connected devices emerging, whether it's connected devices in terms of tracking of cars, connected devices in terms of wearables, or connected devices by way of even lighting. It's essentially the phenomenon on that cheap silicon, you putting more sensors, more processing power, ability to work on low power and low bandwidth. That's what is creating this IoT. Now, when we look at lighting, lighting traditionally has been a utility device, something which is like a analog product. You go to a kirana store, and from that kirana store buy your bulb at 10 rupee. That was the world of lighting few years back. And that world of lighting was all pervasive in our houses, in our offices, on roads. That's what was the light, the world of light point that we all knew. Now, how many light points are there? There are about half a trillion light points which are out there. There are in India alone, for example, over 200 crore light points which are there. That means street lights or your office lights or your home lights. There are over 200 crore of them. And they have traditionally been these analog devices. So long as they were analog devices, it was all nice, happy family. There was no need for we all being bothered about it getting connected. We all being bothered about what it means in terms of security and vulnerability, because they were standalone analog devices. Few years back, that world started changing when those analog devices became digital, with that light becoming LED. Now, whenever that light became LED, it was basically a silicon which was now emitting light. Even then, it was okay, it was just a silicon emitting light. But progressively, as that silicon became more and more powerful and cheaper, as happens with any other electronic industry, same thing started happening on that world of LED. That silicon started becoming more and more powerful and cheaper, and then from just becoming a light emitting silicon, it also became a light emitting silicon that is now connected. So those LEDs also started having a radio communication or networking capability on that silicon itself. And hence light went from becoming analog to digital and digital to connected. That is the second transformation happened. And both of these transformations, mind you, happened in matters of just few years. So feature phone to smartphone transformation that all of us have lived through happened over 10 years. But this analog to digital to connected transformation in LED has happened in matters of 3 or 4 years. And so much so that in B2B world, we now see LED light points and light points which are connected already reaching a penetration of 70 to 75% last year, from less than 1% in 2010. So in 5 years, we are seeing this analog to digital to connected. Interestingly, however, it is not just stopping there. It is not just light which has become digital and it has got connected. On that silicon, as that silicon is now becoming cheaper and more powerful, we are also seeing whole lot of many more things get added on that silicon. Many new sensors getting added on that silicon, and many new functionalities getting added on that silicon. And just the way it happened in the world of, again, phones, where a feature phone started becoming a smartphone, and no longer it was just voice communication. It became a GPS, it became a computer, it became a camera, it became a music system. And nobody today buys a smartphone for its voice communication. People buy it because of its additional applications and functionality that got enabled, and a smartphone is no longer a voice communication device. Exactly the same thing now we see happening in the world of lighting, where illumination is now going to be just one functionality. That it throws lights on various things and makes you see those things is just one functionality. And many more other uses are going to get enabled with these light points. Now, what are these different uses that are emerging using that light point as it is becoming an IoT, which is basically a connected, intelligent, digital device? What are these various things that are emerging? What we are seeing is that these lights now can have an occupancy sensor built, which is put into that. So when you walk into a conference room, that light can detect that somebody is walking into the conference room. It can start detecting temperature. These intelligent lights can start detecting what is the temperature of the surrounding. It can start doing individuals geopositioning. So Hemant is sitting there in front of me under a light. That light can say Hemant is sitting on table number so and so, and maybe somebody else sitting on table number 2. And they can start pinpointing location of individuals or location of things. These lights can start also acting as communication devices, and some of you might have heard of this emergence of things called Wi-Fi, which is communication which is 100 times faster than Wi-Fi communication that we have today in our offices or at homes. So these are all things which are now coming in the realms of being commercialized and being real, and no longer things which are in the lab. So to give you an example of each of these use cases, we are actually implementing a project right now for a very large technology company where these intelligent lights which are connected, so let's call them as these new IoT lights, are now going to come in all of their offices all over the country. And these light points are going to be used to identify who's sitting where, and if it's Hemant who likes a particular tone of light, he likes a warmer light, yellowish light at a particular intensity. As soon as he sits on his desk, the light will get personalized. Because now people are in flexi sitting environment in offices, when he sits at his desk, the voice over IP phone in front of him will get personalized with his own password, and hence will get initialized with his setup. When he walks, or some of you walk into a conference room, automatically your conference room booking system will know that this conference room is now occupied, or vice versa. When you're searching for which conference room to get into, it will tell you which conference rooms are empty and which conference rooms are occupied. A facility manager is any day at any time going to find out how many seats are empty, how many seats are occupied using this kind of positioning. Now this is something which is going to be done today using these IoT enabled light points. So this is not out in the future. In fact, this facility is going to get inaugurated on 1st of September. And it's not a small facility, it's a facility with 8,000 people. And that 8,000 people facility would get enabled with this functionality. This is just one use case. Second, for one large retail chain, we are implementing this geo-positioning and geo-sensing in a very different way. World over, you must have seen that you are now seeing malls or shops which are humongous in size. You walk into a Walmart, it's a half a kilometer by half a kilometer facility. Now you get into that Walmart with your big shopping list. You want to buy some cold drinks, you want to buy some shampoos, and you want to pick up some grocery. You walk with that shopping list, you don't know what is placed where, and you have to keep searching around. Now with this kind of intelligent lights, you walk into that showroom with the shopping list on your smartphone. At the entry, that shopping list is read by the computer of that retail chain. Now it knows what all things you want to buy. That computer also knows what bins are kept where in that entire facility. And then, just like your GPS starts guiding you as you walk through, Null Stop and Lakshmi Road and Karve Road and so on, this GPS, which is basically light points acting as GPS, start guiding you and start giving you message that please turn left, please go straight, etc., and take you right in front of the bin, which is selling that item which is first on your shopping list. Now, the fun doesn't stop there. Once you're in front of that bin, that light knows that now you're in front of the bin that is selling shampoos. Now it uses this data to sell to the brands who can use this data to do contextual advertising on your smartphone. They can sell PNG, buy one, get one free. Here is a promo, or here is a 20% discount voucher that is getting sent to you right in front when you are in front of that bin. And this kind of now extra value creation can be enabled for that retail chain by light points who now sensed your presence in front of a particular location. Now this, by the way, again is not something which is out in the future. This is something that we have already implemented for a large global retail chain. And they are using this kind of data and information to get extra customer loyalty by offering this guiding mechanism, and more importantly, use this data to monetize for contextual advertising. That's what they are doing today using this data. So this is the second use case. So we see these kind of use cases emerging, and light is now going beyond illumination. Light is now just like feature phone went beyond voice communication. Now light, because it became IoT, is no longer light. Now light is becoming in-premise GPS. It's becoming in-premise communication. It's becoming in-premise occupancy sensor. It's becoming in-premise surveillance, and so on and so forth. And that is suddenly increasing value 50 times, 100 times, because energy efficiency of an LED can save some energy, but that light helping you sell more, or that light reduce your real estate requirement by 30%, because now it tells you which seats are open and which seats are occupied. It suddenly reduces your real estate requirement. And for that technology measure which implemented this, they saw that they can reduce 30% of their real estate by doing this intelligent light point into their facility. And a cost of a real estate which is 5,000 rupees a square feet to build, you reduce 30%, it's 1,500 rupees a square feet that you effectively save. And the cost of the light point there per square feet was less than 50 rupees a square feet. So a 50 rupee a square feet of a IoT light point enabled the value creation of 1,500 rupees a square feet just in terms of real estate optimization. So this world of IoT, the reason it is coming very, very strong and coming as a big wave is because it is enabling value creation which is 50 times, 100 times what traditional non-IoT devices were capable of doing. Hence, that's another message that I have for all of you, that this world of IoT is enabling massive value creation for organizations. And this is going to now come not for one light point or two light points, it's going to come for those 400 billion light points that I spoke to you about. Because lights have their own life and they go through a replacement cycle. Every 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, lights fail and you replace. So all of these 400 billion light points, whether you have them in your house or whether you have them in your offices, are going to come up for replacement over next 3, 4, 5 years. And the next generation that you will install, or next to next generation that you will install over next 5 years, will all be these IoT light points, will all be these intelligent lights that can do many more things beyond just giving illumination, and they will get connected and you can control them remotely and do many more things. So far so good, sounds very exciting, sounds very exhilarating, but here is now the challenge. The moment now you're going to have lights, maybe 50 lights in your house that are going to get connected and that can be managed remotely. The moment you're going to get Pune street lights, Pune has 80,000 street lights that can all be connected and managed remotely. They also create vulnerabilities. And initial wave of any technology normally goes with early adopters, where it's the excitement of possibilities that drives adoption, and people overlook vulnerabilities and security risks that come with it. Now, what can be a security risk with as mundane as a light? Why should we really be bothered about such a security risk? And why should this be something that should be a topic for the Isaca conference? Imagine a city like Pune, where as a part of the smart city project that's underway, and Modi ji inaugurated the smart city project list for Pune just recently. Imagine all of Pune's street lights becoming such IoT devices, which are intelligent, connected, and that can be managed remotely. While it has its own positives, that when there is nobody, it will automatically dim. When somebody is passing by, it will automatically come on. If there is an accident, the light intensity can go up so that quickly you know what's happening there. If there is an accident, it can start beaming that imagery back to a control room. All nice possibilities, all exciting things. But now imagine the flip side of it, that somebody is able to hack into that lighting system, take control of street light, and get the city into darkness. And get the city into darkness when you actually want to cause some havoc or cause some damage or a terrorist incident. Now, the flip side hence can be that somebody who wants to cause damage can actually take control of this security system, take control of this lighting system, shut it down for the entire city just when you need it, when some mass procession is happening or mass event is happening, and use that subterfuge to cause damage to the city. Exactly same thing can happen in your house. Somebody takes control of your lights and shuts them down to pave way for a burglary. Now these kind of things, by the way, are not again in the realm of future. Recently, something similar happened with lighting system promoted by one large German company, also one peer company, I don't want to name it, and it caused a major security breach and a damage to the users of that. And when that was investigated further, they found that there were 9 different security breaches that were possible in that system. It was possible to hack it in 9 different ways and take control of it remotely to do things and make the light behave differently than what it was intended to behave. And that's now the new world that is now we all need to be alive to. That as devices such as lights become IoT, as devices such as lights get connected and create massive value, it will create a big proliferation of these devices. However, it will create lots of vulnerabilities. Since it's a new age that's coming, still nobody has thought of these vulnerabilities, but we do expect more and more such security policies to get developed, maybe get developed by the security experts in different organizations as you start thinking of how to adopt these new technologies for creating value. So we want such value to get created for your organization, but I think such security policies will also need to be developed very soon for this. Let me stop here and maybe also listen to the next speaker and then be open for a Q&A. Thanks. Yeah, Hemant, over to you again.
Just asking you, the whole exciting thing you are doing on the colors, and if you can give a 2 minutes, thing on the lighting and color and the impact.
Okay. So since a lot of you are from organizations, I gave examples more from a B2B context. But this, IoT world is also coming in our houses. So we have, for example, talking of my company, introduced a lighting system today for homes called HUE, HUE. Now that lighting system consists of lights that go into your same bulbs or the tubes that go into your same putties. They will look just like the same, but they are intelligent lights that can be connected over to an internet, can be controlled over internet, can be controlled using your smartphone. They can be changed to made to change color to 16 million different colors, and so on and so forth. Now, what can you do with it? For example, you can connect them to your TV program, and you're watching a TV program, and that TV program has, let's say, a scene where there is a fire. Now, your smartphone will see which is the most dominant color on the TV, and it will say the dominant color is red and yellow. And the lights in that room where the TV is running will automatically change to reddish and yellowish to give you an immersive experience as if you're in the middle of that fire. Let's say there is a rain and a thunderstorm. Again, it will sense that it is darkish, bluish kind of a color, and the lights will change. If there is a thunderstorm, the lights will go up and down as if it's a thunderstorm to give you the immersive experience. Just to give you one example. Or I know Hemant likes to sing or likes to have karaoke parties. When he's having a karaoke party, lights can synchronize to his voice and dance as if it dances in a disc or a pub. This is just from an entertainment point, when now lights will start behaving like an entertainment system. But on a more serious note, lights are seen to have impact on human body.